Hey everyone. So, every so often I'll have people come up to me and, they'll say, I want to become a YouTuber. Do you have any advice or insight on how to make a big channel? How do I grow my channel? And, I do a little bit, but I also want to provide some more realistic expectations for growing a YouTube channel. So we're going to talk about all that today, and mainly so I can just have something that I can link to people whenever they ask me. That's the purpose of this video. So usually people will start with, well, how did you grow your channel? Because maybe I can just do what you did and I will be successful. Spoilers, you probably won't. So how do I get big? Well, for anyone to get big, they need two things. You need good content, and you need people to see that good content. You need exposure. And those two things are the most difficult things to get for YouTube. You can have equipment, and you can know SEO, and you can know marketing, and you can know all the little doodads in between. But that's only about 15% of the YouTube experience. The other 85 is making the content and then putting in places where people can see it. So for me, I had good content, or at least what I assumed to be good content because people stuck around, and I had exposure. How did I get my exposure? Well, because I started making YouTube videos about Destiny the game a year and a half before it came out, I was just your only option. It didn't matter whether you liked me or hated me. When you searched Destiny the game on YouTube, chances are you were going to find me because just people weren't making that much content on it. It was me and two other guys. So eventually you were bound to find me if you were sick of the other two guys. And slowly but surely, I built up my resume of videos. And as we got closer to release, interest gets higher and more people start to make YouTube content. But because I already had a huge block of videos, I was ahead of the curve. I was among the first. That was my exposure, being first to a thing. That's really about it. If I were to try to start now with a YouTube channel, well, first of all, now is one of the worst times to try and make a Destiny YouTube channel with Destiny 2 on the horizon. But even beyond that, the market is so saturated already with Destiny content that getting exposure is much more difficult. As an example, I first started with Call of Duty, and I started making content at peak Call of Duty times. Like, this was the most popular that Call of Duty will ever be on YouTube ever. And after about 2 years of doing content, I had about 2,500 subscribers. Now, don't get me wrong, 2,500 is still a lot of subscribers. Like, a lot of people would kill for 2,500 subscribers based off of, these forums that I used to check out and read and stuff. But that's not enough to make a living on it. And for me, growth stagnated, or growth only happened when I posted on Reddit. And I just didn't like that, and I kind of just got bored of it, so I stopped. So it's very difficult to replicate success. And I used to look for jobs in marketing and video production, media, and stuff like that. And people would say, oh, you have a successful YouTube channel. We want a successful YouTube channel, so you can just transfer whatever you did to what we did, and it'll be good, right? And the answer is no, it's not. Because what I did was a very specific thing, very specifically timed to a new thing coming into the world. And that's how I was able to grow my channel. It was timing, a lot of timing, which generated exposure. And because I had good content, people stuck around. So, advice for new YouTubers. Well, if you're just doing it for fun, I would say just do whatever you want, because you're not trying to make a career out of it. You're not trying to make money off of it. So I really don't have any business telling you what you should and shouldn't do. You can buy all the equipment you want, capture card, computer, editing software, that's all fine. But in terms of growing a channel, if you just want to do it for fun, just a small hobby, and you don't really care, do whatever, I don't have any business telling you. But if you want to try to make it a career, that's where things get a lot more difficult. And, you can watch as many How Do I Grow a YouTube Channel videos as you want. They're all going to tell you the same thing, branding, sure, art for your channel. Okay. Pick a good name. Fine. Equipment, how to edit, what kind of, settings should I use for this and that, and then uploading your video, making thumbnails, SEO, tags and all that stuff. But they never really tell you, one, what content to make, and two, how to get people to watch it, because it's different for everybody. Everyone had a different experience, regardless of what it was. So if you want to make it a career, I would say don't start a YouTube channel with the focus of trying to make it a career, because most people didn't do that. Most people just did YouTube content because they really liked doing it and they happened to be pretty good at it and happened to get people to watch it. Very few people make it. For every one person, for every one of me who gets to do it full time, there's probably 10,000 people who have tried and just didn't go anywhere. If you want to be serious about it, that's great. Be serious, enjoy it. Also, don't spend a lot of money on equipment and then give up a month later. I've seen that horror story a few dozen times by now on various forums. I built a $2,000 computer and I built all this and I got all this equipment and then I would, I'd see the posts like from 2016. I'll go to their channel now. They stopped doing videos a month in. That's something to be very, very wary of, is investing a lot of money into it and it's going nowhere, and then investing a lot of time into it. You need to realize that you can spend 40 plus hours a week making content and then have absolutely nothing come from it at all. Not a dime. Maybe not even a view, because there's so much stuff on YouTube. There's so much stuff. It is so difficult to be found. Gaming, vlogging, lifestyle, cooking, underwater basket weaving, whatever it is, it's really hard to get noticed. So stay realistic. You can post to Reddit and you can post to forums, Facebook and whatever, but the odds of getting super, super huge are really, really, really small. Unless you're just one of those 1 in a million guys who's really charismatic and just can just make something on a dime. It's really, really difficult to get to that point without exposure and timing and good content. So actual advice, I can talk about all the other stuff that other how to make a YouTube channel videos do. HD, HD quality video, that's important. It's not important enough that if you have HD video that people will watch your videos, but if you don't have HD quality, then people will not watch your videos. If it sounds like crap, if it looks like crap, no one's going to watch it. You can invest in hardware, software. You can buy a new computer, sure. Editing software is pretty expensive, at least the good stuff. You're probably going to be sticking with Windows Movie Maker for a little while, unless you're already an editor or something like that. Next thing is make content that you want to watch. I've watched my own videos before. I'll admit it. That's fine. I think I do a pretty good job of making some videos. If you are making videos that you yourself would not watch, why would anyone else watch it? You need to make stuff that if you came across it, you would click on it and you would watch the entire thing through. And if you're not capable of making videos like that, you either need to adjust your game plan or you just need to stop making videos, because you need to be able to watch it and then other people can watch it. Practice making videos right now. If you have no editing experience, no video experience, start editing, start making stuff. Even if it's just for yourself, just to practice. Your first videos are going to suck. I promise you, they're going to suck a lot unless you have a lot of experience already. My first videos sucked. They were horrible. They were horrendous. But I at least had a background in editing, so I somewhat knew what I was doing. If you're new to editing, you're new to whatever, get honest feedback from your friends and your family. Don't let them sugarcoat it, because if they sugarcoat something that's bad, you're going to keep making bad. You need to get honest opinions about the quality of your content. Try to put it in spots where people can find it then. You can post on Facebook, you can post on Reddit, you can post in, various forums and stuff, but people have tried to grow channels like that before. Forum goers are not stupid. If you just spam your videos everywhere and don't contribute, you're just going to probably get banned from using those forums or whatever. You have to put in the extra effort to become part of that community. And then once you kind of involve yourself in that community, then you can, maybe start throwing in your YouTube videos in there or something like that. But just posting willy-nilly, like to every single subreddit that might watch the video, that's a good way to get yourself banned, unless the video happens to be really, really excellent. And even then, most people will see a lot of YouTube videos as just spam, please watch my channel kind of stuff. So exposure is difficult. And if you're in the gaming world, try to hop onto a game that is brand new that you think is going to have a lot of shelf life. Obviously, there are some games that are going to have a lot of shelf life, like Overwatch, maybe League of Legends, Destiny did somehow. Call of Duty did for a while. It's on the decline. Minecraft, still big. Maybe not as big, though. If you see a game coming up, next year, and you think it's a game that's going to last a while, maybe give YouTube content a shot on that game if you're interested in it. I wouldn't hop onto a game that you're not interested in just to become big on YouTube, because you will hate it. You will absolutely hate it. But maybe if you find a game coming up in the future that you think has some shelf life on YouTube, give it a shot. Who knows? What else? Doing what everyone else is doing is not good. You need to make it yours. You can't just copy what other people are doing and expect people to watch it. If you're a new YouTuber and you're doing, for example, on Destiny, if you're doing Xur recommendations and expecting to grow a channel, I got some bad news for you. If you're doing vendor reset videos as a new channel, I got bad news for you. That's content that everybody does. You need to stick out somehow. You can't do what everybody else is doing. This is a fairly obvious point. Gaming specifically, if you're trying to grow some sort of a Let's Play channel, those are not good. That's a very bad idea. Very, very bad idea. Because Let's Play content is interesting when you know the people or person behind the content. For me, like most people don't really watch any of my Let's Play content, but at least the people who do, they watch it because maybe they like me. If you're just a brand new YouTuber, you're basically a random guy. And trying to get random people to watch a completely random guy play a game, not the smartest idea. I just don't think it's the smartest idea. Unless you're, again, one of those 1 in a million people, or you have something go viral. Something like that I don't think is a very good idea for starting a YouTube channel. So that's kind of like my overview. Whenever people ask for advice, I tend to go the more realistic side of just realize that the potential, maybe not necessarily for failure is probably the wrong word, but the chance of non-success in terms of viewership or making money or subscriber growth is very high. I lucked out. I was in the right place at the right time with the right kind of content for the right kind of audience, all at the same time. Just winging it is a lot more difficult. This is why I also don't give advice for starting a Twitch channel. I didn't start as a Twitch streamer. I started as a YouTuber, and I brought my YouTube audience over to Twitch. I've never dealt with the struggle of trying to grow a Twitch channel, only a YouTube channel. But even then, I kind of knew in the back of my mind, if I started early enough, that there is a chance that I could have a lot of success because I could get exposure. And that's the biggest thing. as for, any sort of ending things on getting exposure, it's really hard. It's just really hard to find exposure. I could not start up a new channel on my own, knowing who I am as a person, on just any random topic and expect similar success. The only reason I would experience maybe any success is if I told my old channel about it and brought them over to something. So yeah, I guess that's about it for my general advice. Again, you can watch all the metadata. What equipment do I get? What kind of microphone? What settings do I use? What kind of capture software? What kind of camera? And all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you need good content and you need exposure. Good content is hard to get. It's hard to develop. And getting exposure is even harder than that. That's all I got. It's hard. It's really hard to get big. But hopefully that gives you some perspective. A lot of people think of YouTube as basically a way to a quick dollar. And it is anything but. It is anything but a quick dollar. I think in my entire 2 years of doing Call of Duty YouTube content, I made $100, if that. It's not a quick dollar. It's not quick to the top. It's not quick to anything. Unless you happen to be one of those 1 in a million people, it's not quick. And if you are one of those 1 in a million people, you certainly don't need this video to tell you what to do or give you advice. So, yeah, that's what I got for you guys on the growing the YouTube channel shtick.